The following program is a presentation by students in College of San Mateo's Digital Media program.
Welcome to Global Visions, a show that honors our cultural differences by exploring common themes.
This show is produced by College of San Mateo Digital Media students in the Broadcast and Electronic Media program.
On today's show, we will explore music, crafts, and life celebrations around the world.
In the first segment, I will introduce you to Professor Rudy Ramirez, who will teach us about the roots of music. Then we will take you out of the studio to learn about traditional Hawaiian craft of waving.
And then we will bring you back into the studio for our last segment. My four guests will share their cultural perspectives on life events and celebrations.
I am Luis Palacios.
And I'm Kendall Hogan.
This is Global Visions. Thanks for joining us today on Global Visions. Music is the way that people share love, passion, and all their feelings. Today, we are going to learn about some of the origins of musical style. Joining me in the studio is a talented musician and educator, Rudy Ramirez. Welcome, Rudy.
Yeah,
Thank you for being with us.
Oh, it's a privilege and an honor, believe me. This is wonderful.
How are you?
Excellent. This is really great. I love this.
Were you been playing last week?
Yeah, I played as many weeks as I can. I don't always get enough gigs, but I'll get it. I'll take it when I can get it.
Before we start talking about music, can you tell us a little bit about your background, your studies and everything?
I was born in Costa Rica, Central America, and I come from a musical family. My grandfather was a professional musician. He taught my father how to play, and then he, in turn, taught me how to play. So I always had music at home. Always, always. And I always wondered why my friends didn't have music at their homes, you know, but that's how I grew up, and I took it for granted.
Well, in what instruments do you play?
I play guitar. My father was a professional guitarist, and I started playing professionally when I was 14.
Wow.
I was bored one day when I was 12, and I said, Papi, show me some music, you know, and he taught me music from Costa Rica, from Latin America, and then I gravitated to the drums in the 70s, and there's nothing like skin on skin.
Yeah, definitely. And now that you mentioned about the conga drums, can you tell me the history about them? Well,
the history goes back more than 500 years, and we're talking about in the Caribbean islands, in particular in Cuba, because it's the largest island in the region. And 500 years ago, there was this native tribe that was called the Arawaks. And they had subgroups like the Taínos, like the Lucayanos, like the Caribs, which is why it's called Caribbean, named after the Caribs. And they were, for the most part, a very peaceful people. And then in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue, and lo and behold, you know, he did not see eye to eye with the Arawaks. The Arawaks were primitive, they were savages, they were heathens, they were not Christians. And so he and the Spanish and later on the Portuguese and the French subjected them to slavery, pretty much decimated the entire population and brought diseases. And after that, then they brought in the African slaves.
That's the way that they get enough manpower to do all that work.
Yes, because you know you had the mines, you had the silver, gold, copper mines, and then you have your cash crops, you know, the tobacco, you had the sugar cane, all those cash crops, and you needed a manpower to do so. So they had the conga. The people from the slaves came from the Congo, Nigeria, and Ghana.
Directly to Cuba, and then music started over there, and then what happened?
And you'll find this pattern repeat itself throughout Latin America. You have the Spanish, you have the indigenous, and then you have the African, and it just keeps repeating itself. And so the Africans brought their drumming with them. And in Cuba, the conga drum became the instrument of choice. And it's a direct result of the influence of the African diaspora, the influence. And so you have the conga drum, which is basically you get three sounds out of it: open tone, closed tone, and slap. Open tone, closed tone, and slap. And then along the way, they incorporated two more drums: the quinto, which is a higher tone, and then the tumba, which is a lower tone. So you have an open tone, closed, slap.
Nice. And then how Cuban music came out, how they start playing, what was the first pattern?
So initially the drums was a foundation, is the foundation of this music called Afro-Cuban music. And then later on, it became known as Latin music. And then you have other rhythms in different parts of the region. So the first rhythm pattern is called a bolero. It is a slow, sensuous, very romantic type of rhythm designed for couples to hold each other and whisper sweet nothings in their ears. And this is what it sounds like on one drum.
Okay.
This is what it sounds like on three drums. This is what it sounds like with the music.
Sin ti no podré vivir jamás, ni pensar que nunca más estarás junto a mí.
Beautiful song. Los Panchos.
Trio Los Panchos originated in 1947 out of New York City. Two Mexicans and one Puerto Rican. That's the beauty of Latin music, is that it incorporates different influences from different countries and from different people. And they just took the world by storm. They were on top of the world from the 40s and the 50s and the 60s and all through the 70s. They're gone now, but their music is still a legacy.
It was, yeah. I remember that my mother used to hear that music, and yeah, I grew up with that music too.
And that's the other thing, is that it's transgenerational.
It is.
So my grandparents listened to this music. My parents listened to this music. I listen to this music, and my daughters listen to this music
Wow.
now.
And how old is your daughter?
They're in their 20s.
Wow.
You know?
She listens to that music? Yeah.
So yeah, and they both love it, and they can sing the song, Sin Ti, you know, it's like one of the favorites, you know.
And there is any other rhythm?
Yeah, there's various rhythms. There's one more called a guajira, and it's a mid-tempo rhythm. This is what it sounds like on one drum. This is what it sounds like on three drums. This is what it sounds like with the music.
Oh, nice, yeah.
It's great.
Were there any other musical influences that went in Cuban?
In Cuba, yes, but then throughout the region, you know, I mean, it didn't just stay in Cuba, you know, it stayed in different areas. You have like the plena in the bomba out of Puerto Rico. You have the merengue from Dominican Republic,
And
now from Colombia,
yeah,
comes was the cumbia, and it's an open tone and a slap on one drum. Or you have the quinto and the tumba on the other. You can do a variation. And this is what it sounds like with the music.
Okay.
Óyeme, Diosito Santo, tú de aritmética nada sabías. Dime por qué la platica tú la repartiste.
Yeah, nice music. Popular.
Beautiful. Very.
Yeah.
It came out in the 60s. It was a dance craze in the United States. But prior to that, it was every country in Latin America has done its own interpretation of the cumbia.
Yeah, and that was Pastor Lopez, right?
Pastor Lopez, yes.
He was one of the first musicians for cumbia that were famous around the
Yes.
world. Yeah, he
Yes,
was
did.
principal in
Yes.
that.
And there's just different interpretations of it.
But
Different
I have one more question. Some people think that cumbia and salsa are almost the same. Can you explain us what salsa is?
Well, salsa really means sauce. If you really, if
Yeah.
you think about it,
Yeah.
it's sauce, you know. And the term was used in the late 1960s. Basically, there were mambos, and so then cha-cha-cha and different types of rhythms. So they say, hey, let's lump them together and call them one word. Instead of Latin music, let's call it salsa. And so it's basically mambos. This is what it sounds like on one drum. This is what it sounds like on 3 drums. And what you're going to listen to is Ricardo Lemvo from the Congo, because it came from Africa, it went back to Africa, and now it's come back again. He's singing in Lingala. This is a song called Mambo Yo-Yo.
Yo soy Mambo, Monsieur Mambo, al señor Mambo, Talani Mambo, el agua.
That is the tumba, right?
Tumba, quinto, and the main drum is the conga. If you look at old pictures of Latin bands, they had one drum, the conga drum. And like I said, you know, music keeps evolving, keeps changing. Music is truly the language of the world.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
The
the
language
thing
of the
is,
heart.
It comes from the heart. It comes from the heart. And music is the language of the world. I use it in my classes. In my classes, I start each and every one of my classes with some kind of music. You know, it's music that they have never heard before. And I talk about that. This is so-and-so. This is what they're doing. And this is why they're doing it. You know, so I put it all in perspective.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor Rudy Ramirez, to be with us. It's a pleasure to have you here sharing all your knowledge about music. I really appreciate it.
This has been an honor.
Thank
Truly
you,
an honor.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
If you have been inspired to seek out new music or want to learn how to play the music you just heard, you can actually take classes in Afro-Latin music at College of San Mateo, plus listening to Jazz 91 FM every Sunday from 2 to 4 p.m. for Latin Jazz with Chuy Varela on KCSM. Before Kendall and her guest came into the studio, we are going to take you to South San Francisco to learn about Hawaiian tradition and meet some of your Bay Area neighbors who are persevering it.